Hey friends, today we have an unboxing. Today we're going to be looking at two Oracle decks that are new to my collection, but in actuality, they have been sitting with me close to a year now. So we have the I'm Here deck by Murphy Pines. This is a 50 card deck and guidebook. And then I got this as part of a Kickstarter. And this, if I remember correctly, was the result of meeting some of the stretch goals. So this one here is the This Is Me deck. This one is a little bit different. So this is an Oracle deck and it has archetypes and symbols. So there should be astrology, elemental, celestial, plants and flowers, and then enneagrams. And I'm new to enneagrams, so it'll be interesting to take a look at that. So let's get started. Okay, beautiful box, nice and sturdy. Oh, look, I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad that you're here too. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside. We have the guidebook. I'm Here guidebook. Okay, no pictures, words. It's a little tight, but it's just because it hasn't been broken in yet. And it looks like it's in alphabetical order. So we'll get into this in just a minute. So let me these are the card backs. It looks like they have foil edging, silver. So let me get into this and we'll take a closer look. Okay, so you can kind of see that these were printed in batches because they have like clear separations within the deck. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's interesting. Okay, so let's take a look at the cards. So here we have affirm. Each card has the keyword, and then there is a little blurb down here at the bottom. Believe in yourself, know your truth, and hold it close to you. We have affirm. Actually, I'll leave. Well, no, we'll do that. Ask. This is a good one, right? Because this is something that's usually like so hard for people to do. And that because of the edging on this, they're sticking. So I'm just going to be careful as I separate them here. Be still. I think what drew me to this deck is that it's the images, right? They're not ghosts, but they're just figures. And I kind of like that bloom. That's really pretty. I also like the colors in this deck. Although like pastels are not really my thing, but I enjoy them in here. Breathe. Cocoon, that's a good one. Connect. Ooh, draw. I like that this is a black card. Dream. Examine. Expand. Express. Float. I like that. Flow. Oh, this is good. Focus. And even though I'm not a fan of black and white, I like that this one is because sometimes, right, color could be distracting. So I like that choice there. Gather. I don't know why this reminds me of, I don't know if you're familiar with that game Hungry Hippos and how some people have made a live action version of that game. That's what it reminds me of. Give, glow. That's so funny. This keyword is in another Oracle deck that I have. And my daughter and I got into a debate about it because I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I understand that keyword. So let's see. It says, let your inner light shine. What makes your inner light glow? I like that. I like that there's a question and a statement. All right, ground, harvest. I'm just making sure there's not more than one stuck together. Oh, this is pretty. Hold. This cardstock feels really nice. So I'm happy about that. I have to say, this deck, this card is gorgeous. This deck was it was a very long process. And for a while there, I thought that I would never see this one, that I would never receive this one. So this was definitely one of the more challenging Kickstarters. I know a lot of people have really interesting stories when it comes to Kickstarters, and some people have vowed not to use the platform again. But yeah, this was one of them that made me kind of rethink Kickstarter. But in the end, like, it took a very long time, but I finally did receive the deck. By the time the deck came, though, I have to say, because of everything that happened, I was a little turned off by it, and I just put it away. But now that time has passed, and I'm just kind of going through the cards. This is fun play. I'm going through the cards. It reminded me why I thought this was a great deck to have in the collection. I feel like the colors will work with a few different decks. I don't have a lot of like cartoony type decks, so it'll be interesting to pair this with other cards. But I love all the keywords. They're very expansive. There's quite a variety. I think, let me see here. It was, yes, 50 cards in this deck, which makes it pretty chunky, a good size. I like that. Reframe. Oh, reset. I think the creator, they really wanted people to be able to see themselves in the deck. And I think they've accomplished that here. Here. Oh, stretch. This one's interesting, the past. Looking at the past can be painful or comforting. And then they ask follow-up question here. So what can you learn from it? What can you let go? I like that. Touch, trust, venture, visualize, wonder. Ooh, this is good. Zoom out. Oh, I like that. All right. So overall, first impressions, I really like the keywords. I love the art. And I think it's playful and fun in a very soft way. But I don't know, it depends. I'll have to, use it, but I don't think that I think this will give you what you need. There's going to be a certain time when you need to pull out a deck like this. And I think this deck will give you what you need in that moment. Um, I think once I shuffle them, this issue won't be as apparent, but you could see that they don't sit together. They're just, whoop, they separate. But originally, when I opened the deck, you could see all 5 sections, but now, it's a little bit harder. So we'll see once I give it a shuffle. I'm going to set that one aside, and then we're going to look at the second deck. Now this for sure, I have nothing like this in my collection. I wasn't even sure that I understood the concept of Enneagram. And to be quite honest, at the time I looked it up and I thought it was interesting. But then, it's been so long that I already forgot whatever it was that I learned. So, but it does come in a nice two-piece box, similar as the main deck. No guidebook for this. There might be a PDF on this one, so I'll have to go back and see. And then let me remove the plastic. Okay, it looks like this one is in two. All right, so let us take a look at this. Now, again, as a reminder, this deck has a mix of astrology, elemental, celestial, plants and flowers, and enneagrams. So let us take a look. So we have Aquarius. I love that we have the symbol here. Aries, Cancer, Capricorn, Gemini, Leo, Libra, Pisces, Sag, Scorpio, Taurus, comfy cozy in bed, Virgo. All right. So I like these cards. I'm not sure how I would use them just yet, but I like the cards. And it looks like they've taken time to kind of do the cards. Like, for example, the Taurus, right? It shows the figure with the horns and they're in bed because that's what, Taurus are like they like creature comforts. And like Aries, red, for that fire. So it'll be interesting to go through these and see what we can learn from them. So let's go on and look at the rest. So here we have Earth, Jupiter, Mars. So these are all the planets, Mercury, Moon, Neptune, Pluto, Saturn, Sun. That's a great image of the sun too. Uranus and Venus. Okay, so there we have the planets. I think what I'll do is like kind of put them here. Okay, so now we have the elements. So we have air. Ooh, I like earth. The color in this is so good. Earth, fire, and water. Okay. And then these are the enneagrams. Okay. So number 1, reformer. Number 2, helper. 3, achiever. 4, individualist. 5, investigator. 6, loyalist. 7, enthusiast. 8, challenger. 9, peacemaker. Okay, so it looks like there is 9. So 9 of these, and I don't know which one I am actually. So I have to research these. I'll be curious. If anybody works with Enneagrams, Um, let me know how you work with it, and also like any suggestions on how you might use these cards. Okay, so it looks like we're moving on to flowers. So we have black orchid, coconut. That is super interesting. Daffodil, forget me nots. Ooh, lavender. This is one that we see in oracle and tarot decks all the time. And of course, the lotus, mugwort, pine, rose, and sunflower. I'll be interested to know why these particular um, cards were chosen, or why these particular flowers were chosen. But they're really beautiful. And I'm not sure how I would use this deck, but something I could imagine myself doing is some sort of like astrology read, or maybe because we have both the signs and the planets, but also like I could see, let me move these, hold on. I could see myself doing an elemental reading, right? Like maybe putting the cards out and then drawing a tarot card for each of the elements, and kind of checking in with where I am with regards to air, earth, fire, and water. So that might be something as well. In any case, they're very beautiful and they're very unique. I don't have anything at all like this. I'm not sure how I would use them, but I'm happy to explore that. So I'm gonna bring these back, and oh, did I mix them up? Yes. All right. I'm going to give them a shuffle. I like that it's 50 cards, right? But it's not like this really thick, uncomfortable deck, that is difficult to manage. Okay. I don't think I have any cardstock like this, so I can't even compare it to anything else, because it definitely has like a protective coating. They're bendy, um, but they don't feel too precious. They're not thick, but they're not too thin either. So it'll be interesting. I'll give these a shuffle. Okay, these are stuck. Okay. Give these a shuffle. I wonder, like, sometimes, see, you can kind of see the weirdnesses with the deck and how it separates. So that's a little odd, because they were probably printed in batches. I don't know if anyone does this side shuffle. Actually, no, I feel like some people do, especially like with oracle cards. I've tried it, but I'm always paranoid that I'm gonna bend the card. But this works pretty well too. All right. So what I was gonna do was put the cards down, and I wanted to unbox this because I am hoping to work with this deck in December, which sounds shocking to even say out loud, the fact that we're already, thinking about that right now. But December is typically when I work with my inner child. And so I thought this deck would be perfect to unbox, because I was hoping to pair it to this deck, the Pastel Kitty Tarot. So right now, this happens to be the deck that I kind of associate with inner child, although I've used it for all kinds of different things. But I wanted to kind of pair these two together and, see how it goes, because I feel like they both have very similar loving energies. So this is pretty cool. We have the Lovers and draw. It's time to draw some boundaries. So when you think about the Lovers card, and oftentimes it speaks to a choice that we have to make. I feel like it's asking us to be mindful that sometimes part of these choices could include boundary work, but could also lead to boundary work. So already I feel like the energy of these two decks are going to pair pretty nicely. Ooh, Page of Pentacles and safety, right? Because of all of the suits that Pentacles, that Earth suit feels like safety. So here we have our page, safety. So for safety, we have safety first. Always be patient with yourself. Once you feel safe, you can be brave and make some magic, right? And that speaks to, I love that, the thought of patience, because that's oftentimes what's required when we're working with this energy here in the Pentacle suit. Queen of Cups and Sculpt. Sometimes you need to take the abstract and give it a body. How can you take a feeling or idea and hold it in your hands? That's very interesting, and I love this concept. I feel like this would be a great deck also for journaling. And I love that it's paired with the Queen of Cups, because immediately what comes to mind for me is intuition, right? Intuition is something abstract. And the card is asking, how can you take the abstract and give it body? How can you take a feeling or idea and hold it in your hands? And it's such an interesting concept. The fact that the queen is usually portrayed holding the cup, and the cup is filled with a liquid, right? Water that flows, that we cannot contain just within our hands. The same as our intuition, oftentimes that cannot be contained. So I really like where these cards are going together, and I feel like they play very well together. Okay. Ooh. The Two of Swords and open, right? So if we are deliberating on something and we're not really sure what to do and where to go, and we pause, then this card is kind of reminding us, maybe you need to open yourself up, right? Maybe you need to remove that blindfold and stop overthinking things and just kind of take a step forward, right? Sometimes you have to take a step off of this platform in order to move into the right direction. Opening up and being vulnerable can be hard, but it can lead to so much growth and connection. So, so true. I love these two together. Plus, can you see like the arms? They're like, ooh, and then the swords are that way too. All right. Oh, I pulled out two. That's okay. All right. Eight of Cups and pause. That's interesting, right? Because here we don't have a pause. Here we have the figure moving on. And in this case, they're not even looking back. They're not even looking back. They just left everything behind. Pause. It is okay to unplug and step out of the stream. It's okay to take your time. I love that, because sometimes we sit in this energy for so long. But what this is asking, I know it's saying pause, but what it's asking us to do is kind of take a step outside of ourselves and take our time figuring those things out, because that is what leads to the confidence of being able to kind of turn a new leaf and get started and not have that feeling like you're looking back on what you left behind. Love it. Ooh, Ten of Pentacles. Ooh, Ten of Pentacles with root. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, who are you? What is your source? What keeps you grounded? Setting some roots down can help you feel safe and present. I feel like, do you know people like this? I feel like in my professional life, I encounter a lot of people like this. They seem to not put roots down, and they just kind of seem to move around here, there, everywhere, very transient, right? So this is kind of asking us to do the opposite. It's inviting us, right, to think about, where is our source, where does our source energy comes from? you know could it be that it comes from family? Could it be that it's passed through maternal or paternal lines? It's very interesting. Sometimes we spend a lot of time running, but what we need to do is come back to what makes us feel home. Temperance. Ooh, this is an interesting concept, right? So we have temperance, but then we have let go. Letting go is so hard, but it'll make room for more lovely things to enter your life. And often in the temperance card, right? Yes, it's about finding some kind of balance, but it's also about bringing two things together that normally wouldn't work well together, and kind of trying to find the sweet spot. And sometimes this doesn't necessarily mean 50-50. This could be 60-40. This could be 25-75, whatever works. But sometimes you find your secret sauce, and then you got to let it go. If it works, you got to let it go and trust that it's going to go in the best interest of what you were trying to do to begin with. Oh, such a lovely combination. Ooh, Five of Cups. Ooh, Express. I love these together. Oh my God, this is like a no-brainer. Yes, this is not difficult to read at all. So this is perfect, right? Because sometimes, you work with decks that are, very unique, very particular, have very deep meanings and artwork. It really pulls you in. It's like a rabbit hole. One thing leads you, but you don't always have that kind of energy to devote to that type of reading. Sometimes you need something like this. Sometimes you need something like this. And there's nothing wrong with that. Five of Cups. Express yourself. That's what that figure is doing. All I would say to this is okay to express yourself. You spilled 3 cups, it's raining, everything's all messed up. All right, fine. Let it out. Let it out, and then let it go and move on. Express. Take all those thoughts and feelings and let them out through an outlet that feels healthy and right for you. That could be going outside, jumping in rain puddles. It could be going into your shower with all your clothes on. It could be getting in your car and screaming at the top of your lungs, like whatever works. It's okay. All you have to do is just kind of move that energy. Oh, the Star. Touch. Connect to your senses to feel safe and grounded. I really like that, and it's such a great reminder, right? Because in order to um, put intentions out there, right? In order to pray for something, wish for something, put intentions out there for something, whatever it may be, you have to be in touch with yourself. You have to be grounded. You have to feel safe. You have to feel connected. It's the same as when we do tarot readings, right? Anybody could shuffle a deck and pull out a card and be like, oh, star, it's a wish, happy wish. Yay, a wish is going to come true. Like anybody could do that. But if you really want to, tap into your intuition, connect with spirit, then you have to take some steps to ground yourself and form that connection before you're ever, able to do anything else. So this is a wonderful, wonderful reminder. And I use that as an example with tarot. Obviously not everyone reads tarot, and that's okay. Everybody doesn't have to read tarot. But it's the same for anything that we do. Like if you're going to do something, you have to put your heart and soul into it. It shows. I say this with cooking, right? When someone cooks and they put their heart and soul into the food, you can taste the love, as opposed to when you ask someone to do something and they do it because they don't have any other option. They're kind of being forced to do it. It shows in the output, it shows in the quality of the things that they do. It's just not the same. Not the same. Ooh, Seven of Wands. This is such a great depiction, the hockey sticks. Harvest. Ooh, this is interesting. Okay. So we have the Seven of Wands. A figure is the goalie and he's blocking and everyone is coming at him, right? I feel like in that moment I might like freeze and want to just bury my face behind those, a little protective sleeves or guards. But that is not the desire. That's not going to lead to the desired outcome, right? So here we have harvest. Lovely things have been growing in your garden. Let's gather the goods and celebrate. Because this figure didn't just get here. This puppy, I don't know what kind of animal this is. I mean, he's just cuteness, right? But he didn't just get here. He probably went to a ton of practice sessions, of drills, of, bonding exercises, the whole thing, right? To get ready for this moment. So now is the time for his harvest. And he can totally overcome this. He can totally overcome this. So yes, this is a reminder. Like, don't forget. Don't forget everything that you've been working hard to build to prepare you for a specific moment in your time. And when that time comes, like, don't let it overwhelm you. Take a minute to just kind of bring all that to the surface and then use that energy for your greater good. Right? Because fire energy is very interesting. It can help you do so many amazing things, but it can also, like, if used in the wrong way, could ruin your life. My goodness. All right. 10 of Cups. Make space. This is so great. Let's make some room and clear some space for more wonderful things. Doesn't that work so good with the 10 of Cups? Especially because this family is outdoors, and they're not exactly close to home. They're just out there and just taking in all of the blessings that they have. And tens are a card of endings, right? A completion has taken place. Now it's time to kind of bring on to start something new. But before we do that, it's important to give ourselves a pat on the back and celebrate our small wins, our large wins, or any win. Celebrate it, because once you say goodbye to that, you open yourself up for something new. That's what this make space card is for. It's to remind you that you have to clear space if you want to invite new things into your life. And some people might have this happy ever after moment and want it to last forever, but we all know nothing lasts forever. And sometimes these happy moments, they're fleeting, right? They come, they happen, and then everything is very cyclical. It goes up and down, and it's okay, because all we're doing is making space for something new. Now, these cards are very, very easy to read, right? But for the sake of the guidebook, just to kind of take a look, I'm going to look up Make Space, and we'll see what the booklet has to say. Again, it's in alphabetical order. So we have here, let me pull up the card so you have something interesting to look at. What does spaciousness feel like to you? When you have more room in your life, you can stretch out your legs, dance around, and even have room for more joyful experiences and company. Many of us have an impulse to gather, collect, and keep everything that comes our way, from items and beliefs to feelings and memories. Unbelievable. Okay, when you take inventory of everything you have, whether it's physically, mentally, or emotionally, and figure out what you don't need anymore, letting that go can leave so much room in your life for things that bring you even more joy, more meaning, and discovery. Spaciousness can also be a state of mind. If you allow room for yourself to explore, make mistakes, feel, and process everything, it can lead to so much growth and discovery. Give yourself room to breathe and just be as you are. I really like that. If there was any doubt in your mind, if you had any kind of mental fog, before a reading and you needed the book is definitely going to help you make those connections. Although I feel like these two, with what I just read, is just amazing, right? Um, and then not only that, but the book gives you journaling and action prompts, right? So here is a stream of conscious exercise. Um, where it suggests take a moment to pour out everything on your mind and write while thinking as little as possible, right? Like that's a brain dump. Simply let everything out onto the paper. It doesn't matter if it makes sense or not, just let it all out. Then we have, what are you making room for? What would you do if you had all the time and the space in the world? What are some ways you can bring little bits of that into your life now? Visualize the space inside your body where your soul and your feelings live. What does your essence look like? Does it glow? Is it still? Or does it have a shift or change shape? What color is it? Now, as you take a slow, deep breath, visualize this essential and core part of you expanding past your body, past the walls of your room, past the bounds, the land, past the atmosphere of the planet, and beyond, infinitely expanding. Really take in the feeling of spaciousness, abundance, and freedom. So, yes, there's a lot of activities that we can do, journaling exercises that we can do with the booklet. Although I feel like these cards make all the sense in the world, but the booklet is there to support you. So overall, I love these two together. I think they're going to make perfect companions for the month of December as I explore my inner child. And I hope that you enjoyed this. It's an interesting concept behind the deck, interesting cards in both of the decks, actually. And I think it'll be a lot of fun to kind of explore not so much this oracle, but the other one, how, explore the uses for that. So yeah, that's what I have. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.